There you go. Hey, look at that. That's Soul Scream Antholozine. And the thing that it was meant to be is a mashup of an anthology and a magazine, thus the creation of the new word antholozine. Trademark Chris Ryan. Um, and the idea was to search out a couple of names that have some weight, and then uh, working writers that just knock this stuff out, and then make room for writers who need that first publishing break or the second notch on their belt or whatever you want to call it. The idea was to have a little bit of that mix, a name that people might recognize, and a bunch of writers that people might be delighted that they found, you know. And I said, well, what else can I do? What would make it a magazine flavor? And I said, well, interview every author, whether it's a short story or a poem or nonfiction essay. Uh, do an interview with them so that um, people who say, I know when I really like a story, I immediately want to know something more about that author. And I'm never satisfied with the little paragraph. So every author will get an interview. And I said, well, what else can we do to make it fun? Um, I realized that if I am doing the interviews and I write my byline, God, that's boring. So I created a staff because that's what I could afford to hire. So there are three or four different interns who do the interviews, and I had to create voices for each one of those. And that's kind of fun. Some people might get a kick out of that. One is like really crazy People magazine type tone. Another one is very young and she's very enthusiastic and kind of a wow writer. Oh, this is so great. And then there's one who is the critic, yes, I want to be as professorial as possible. Um, and I thought it would be fun if I had a managing editor who was more than human. Thought that would be a little fun. And then maybe we'd see that person and her friends on adventures. I would write those short stories. And so you can kind of choose your own entertainment. If you read Soul Scream Antholozine, you can read a short story of somebody you know. You can read a story of somebody you've never heard of before. If you like them, you can read an interview to learn a little bit more. But if you really just kind of want to see what the adventure is, if you're curious and adventurous as a reader, you can read it from cover to cover, and you get to see the office or behind the scenes, as well as seeing the stories. And there's a theme for each issue. So you get to see how different creators, how different writers will approach the theme of madness or, being inhumane to other people or, science runs amok or whatever. And It's all in the name of community. It's all in the name of giving a really affordable read in times when people could enjoy that.